Hello, Keith Abel here. Just wanted to shoot a short video today. First of all, I hope everybody had an absolutely fantastic Christmas. We had a great time this year. I fixed a big Christmas dinner, Christmas Eve dinner. Had all my wife's family over. Got to see my nieces. Lori's brother, who's a retail store manager, was able actually to get off work on Christmas Eve and make the drive here from Lexington. So everybody was here. We ate. We shot some pool. We just spent some quality, stress-free time together. It was really wonderful. After they all left, my wife and I and our kids actually were able to sit down and exchange our gifts as well. And like I said, it was just a really good time. The next day, on Christmas Day, we spent some time with our church family and worship. Then we went out and visited some relatives. I think this is the first time in years that I actually was able to spend the entire Christmas holiday without working or worrying about the store. I'm so thankful for the opportunity that God's given me. I'm so much happier than I've been in years. I've spent a lot of time in the last few days reflecting on my past years and looking forward to the year to come. As a pharmacy manager, I wasn't real happy. Don't get me wrong, I was earning a nice six-figure income, but to earn that income, I was an employee for a major corporation. I worked 70 hours per week, never seeing my kids, working on the holidays and weekends, and with no hope of really ever increasing my salary, much less of ever having any more family time. As most of you guys know by now, I lost that job a year ago. So I've also spent a lot of time reflecting on that as well. I've had several of my pharmacist friends face the same fate as me in this past year as the industry started cutting out the gray. They're adding new pharmacists fresh out of school with higher degrees, and they're starting them out with less pay than what we were making. It's been a terrifying year for my family, but I've been able to work part-time for a friend's consulting pharmacy, but full-time employment has still continued to elude me. I could have done what most people in my circumstances do, and I could have spent the past year with the woe is me mentality, but I've always tended to be an optimist when it comes to my future. Instead of going off in a room to cry and lick my wounds, blaming the world on all my problems, I've actually spent the last year reaching out to countless successful leaders in various industries. My home library has grown exponentially as I've tried to learn from as many people as I can. I've literally spent hours on the phone in conversation with high-income earners from all across the country, just trying to learn some nugget of information that can take me from being a burnt-out, six-figure, 70-hour-per-week employee, never seeing my kids, and with no hope of increased salary, to being truly independent, the master of my time with unlimited income potential. I knew those types of opportunities existed, and that's exactly why I spent this past year trying to learn as much as I could from those types of individuals. It's amazed me how much time they're willing to spend teaching someone that's really interested in learning what they have to say. So, what does all this have to do with you and today's post? Well, I want to have the opportunity to share with you what I've learned and to ask you to join me as I make 2013 my best year ever. You're probably thinking I'm crazy. There's no way that 2013 is going to be a good year. Trust me, if you follow me and do what I teach you to do, then 2013 will be your best year ever. So, why am I excited? Well, there's so many different economic indicators and events all coming together all at once. I'm completely overwhelmed with the possibilities. First of all, the election's over. It is what it is. Now, we all know on both sides of the political spectrum that regardless of who won, things will necessarily get worse for this country before they get better. And we all must work together to get through this. This economy is going to get tighter. As I've already experienced it myself firsthand when I lost my job, and a lot of my friends also experienced this in the past year, and a lot more people are going to be experiencing this in the future. Healthcare also, whether the healthcare reform, whether you like it or not, it's the law of the land now. The healthcare system is going to be stretched to its limits. There's no way around it. Profit margins are being slashed at the same time as millions more people are coming into the system to begin utilizing the system. This is going to make it necessary for services to be cut, forcing more people to begin turning to alternatives to keep themselves healthy. Inflation's coming. Folks like Robert Kiyosaki are betting on it. As the financial markets are stretched to their limits and increasing government regulations and taxes are being imposed on these big corporations, they're going to be forced to pass those costs down to the consumer. This is going to increase prices on all of us. This is also going to increase the number of people experiencing downsizing, whether that means reduced work hours or layoffs, or being asked to work longer hours for the same pay or even less pay just to keep the companies afloat. This is going to stretch everybody's budget to their limits. Because of all these cutbacks and job losses, people are going to be looking for other ways to bring additional income into their households. More people will realize that they can't rely on government or big corporations to have their backs. Many people are going to begin moving away from the traditional forms of employment and look for other ways. Traditionally, in every single down economy, companies like mine have actually flourished. Next, you've got all the Gen Y people. These people are quickly becoming the largest untapped economic force in America. In just a few years, their purchasing power is going to surpass the baby boomers' purchasing power. This group of people is graduating right now from college in record numbers, and they're unable to find traditional jobs in corporate America. They're an independent group of people that, believe it or not, actually realize that they're going to have to take care of themselves. They see that their parents, who are now in their 50s like myself, that they're losing their corporate jobs, and these folks are now skeptical. They're skeptical about relying on big corporations or even big government to take care of them. They're frugal in many ways out of necessity, but very much they're aware of health and how it's going to affect them in the future. And then there's the baby boom generation. This is the largest block of people ever in history reaching retirement age at the same time. As these baby boomers approach the retirement age, they're becoming increasingly obsessed with looking good and feeling good and living longer, just like all of us have. So much so that this past year, America has spent over $70 billion in health and wellness alone. That's more than any other nation on the earth. So why does all this gloom and doom have me so excited? Well, as a good friend of mine, Steve Schultz, one of those high-income earners I talked to you about earlier, he says to create true wealth, you need to position yourself in front of a trend. Guys, that's what has me most excited. All these trends are coming together, and once, they're all coming together all at once, and there's this business model that actually explodes in these types of economies. I believe for the first time in my life, I'm in the right place at the right time and positioned in front of a trend. 2013 is going to be the best year ever in my life, and I want to help as many people as I can achieve that same level of success in 2013. I encourage each and every one of you as the year winds down to reflect back on where you've been and look forward on where you're going. If you don't like what you see in either direction, if you're ready to make a change, if you want to go in a new direction, I just want to say that there are other possibilities. That despite all the bad news, all the naysayers, the terrible economy, despite all the downsizing, all the unemployment, underemployment, that despite the stock market, how it's diving, and the dire economic outlook on things, despite the poor housing markets and the overall feeling of hopelessness out there, despite all of this, there is a better way. I encourage you to take the first step and reach out to me. Let me share with you why I'm so excited and why I know that 2013 is going to be my best year ever. My contact information can be found below if you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook. If you're on my blog, then the contact link is going to be on your left-hand side. Regardless of what you do, I want you to wish you a very happy new year, and I really do hope that we have a chance to work together to see that your goals are achieved for 2013. Have a happy new year.